Welcome back for another live episode here at Black Hat for CyberConversations. I've got an exciting one here. As you can probably see for the branding behind us, I'm joined by the team at Alice. Guys, thank you for taking time out of the very busy conference floor to join me here today. Why don't you maybe kickstart, tell the audience a little bit about yourselves?
My name is Eyal Dykan. I'm the president of Alice.
My name's Mo. I'm a technical director at Alice.
Well, welcome. Thank you for joining. And as you can probably see, we've got some really unique branding. I think something that is a testimony to Alice's company and culture is very much in line with what Alice represents. So before we dive into maybe a little bit about who you are and what you do, well, actually, no, let's just do that. Let's dive into who you are and what you do. Tell us, what is Alice? What do you bring to the table? And what are you here to deliver?
Okay, so the story of Alice began 8 years ago. I was a colonel in the intelligence, finished my job and wanted to do something else in my life. So I've got a phone call from a friend that asked me to help a very big and large user-generated content company to fight very bad content in their platform. So we created by mistake and by a good feeling. For me, it was a regeneration of my life. Do good things, find evil in the web, in the deep and dark web, and give it to those companies so they will take care about their audience regarding trust and safety. So that was the initiation of a company called ActiveFence, and that we were doing for about 6 years, scraping the deep and dark web and finding those bad elements and gave it to those companies. Since we had those things, we had the biggest database of evil in the world. Now in the era of the Gen AI, we understand that we need to do a new birth of something that related to our past and do something good that's relevant to our days. So the era of the Gen AI became a wonderland, and the database of evil became the rabbit hole. I think this is for now. Mo, please.
Yeah, no, so like Eyal said, when you think about Wonderland, it's kind of like this land of like endless possibilities. And a lot of our customers, they're these very ambitious brands that want to enable people to build experiences. But human ingenuity is limitless. They build things that we don't necessarily expect. And when it comes to user-generated content, this can be amazing and very like beautiful. It can also be incredibly, let's be frank, disgusting, right? And they can do some really things that are kind of vile. So we want to enable people at scale to be able to create experiences that are civil, that are, responsible, and we want to allow our customers and all of their customers to kind of build to whatever extent they need to, safely and responsibly.
And I think the entire premise of Alice is ultimately what drives the company is to do good. And I think that at the foundations is reiterated through everybody I've ever spoken to that works here. I think it comes through in the way that you present yourselves, but ultimately that's the main goal, right? And you're thinking about arguably the everyday person and the most vulnerable individuals out there. Talk to us a little bit about, of course, there was clearly the inspiration to kind of pivot and move the trajectory of the business to be called Alice and really, again, visually represent what the end goal was. Was there a particular moment where you went, okay, this is why we maybe need to turn and really embrace Alice as it is now and the branding that we've kind of stepped forward with?
Yes, the answer is obvious. Like everyone here, we can't ignore with the new era. We need to adjust ourselves to the same ambition of making the world a better place. So having said that, and we did a lot of trust and safety, so the outcome is to go to this era, as I told you, and adjust ourselves with a lot of challenges. From the big producers of the LLM to any other person that or company that use agentic Gen AI, and to take care about the trust and safety in that era, either from try to manipulate those systems or to get things that we didn't want to. And remember, this is the first time that human being create something that he, until now, don't know what will be the end. Okay, when you created the iPhone, you know the limitation of the iPhone, you know what he gives you and what he doesn't give you. And the whole story of the Gen AI, you can produce what you can get from that. And we are taking care that you won't harm those elements inside and outside, and I think Mo can explain more.
And one of the things I also want to touch on our branding, right? We use a lot of colors that typically aren't in the security field. Now, I've been in security not as long as Dykan, but I've been in it for quite some time, and usually, even if you look around the convention center, right, it's a lot of blacks, a lot of blues, a lot of like these dull colors, and I found that even some of the language, right, is a little bit fear-based. So one of the things about how we think about partnerships at Alice, right, and being this trusted partner is being inviting and allowing our customers to really feel comfortable in this environment and being able to build. Now, if you're familiar with the story of Alice in Wonderland, you know, Alice was really thrown into this world of chaos where there's so many things going on, but it doesn't necessarily mean to be afraid of the things that are there, right? It means maybe embrace them in a way that feels responsible. So when we, it's a word that we keep throwing around, but I mean, that's where enterprise adoption of AI has really come to. And when you see how the trends have gone from UGC to agentic, right? And now we're moving to NHIs and from agent-assisted workflows to fully autonomous agentic, like just activity and coworkers. We need to find how to enable these new identities in our environments to express themselves freely. So a lot of that is really fun. And when I think about Gavin, right? Sir Gavin, Sir Gavin, our rabbit, right? The white rabbit is kind of like this guide through Wonderland. And it's fun because there's so many different things you can do with this brand, and we can kind of put him in different situations. We've put him in video games. We put him in like kind of scavenger hunts, and we can change the costume, and we can make him pixelated. It kind of reminds me of how we create with AI and how there are so many different experiences to be had. However, consistently throughout all of these experiences, Gavin, just like Alice, will be consistent partners throughout the journey.
And do you have something to go on?
Yeah, I want to speak about the evolution of the evil. So when we started, that was the first time that those companies was taking care about trust and safety. So it was human versus human using bad content. Okay, now we are at the stage of human being through the machines are doing the evil to people. But let's look a bit forward. Who is taking care about us, about human beings from the machines? You can see here in the convention those robots that fighting each other, those dogs. If someone will do something, someone needs to take care that those machinery animals won't harm us. So I think if we are speaking about the future, these are the things that we are think about it and want to prevent.
I love the way that you break it down there, because in reality, I think in cyber it's so easy sometimes to get lost in the chaos, lost in the innovation and the excitement of all these different things. And exactly what you mentioned there, it's easy to forget that the end goal is to protect people. It's the entire reason that this industry exists. Obviously businesses, but at the end of the day, it is people that we're trying to protect. And I think again that's a sentiment that is really embedded within what your goal is as a vendor. I'm really interested, you touched base on something there, to talk a little bit more about what basically what you're here to deliver in the messaging that you're looking at Black Hat, because naturally we can see the foundations of the business and this is exciting, but as you mentioned, the evolution of this industry, the advancement of some of this technology that you're helping protect people from is accelerating at such a rapid pace that arguably from RSA to today, some of that messaging has probably had to evolve because the technology has as well. Talk to us a little bit about maybe what that journey has looked like in arguably just a few months, but also maybe what the messaging looks like today when people are coming by and obviously trying to, it's probably Gavin that they're coming for because it's a really cute little mascot.
So I think even over the past couple of months, we've seen a lot of new attacks kind of rise, right? A lot of new AI driven incidents, right? Even if you look at this last month, we've had Hugging Face and OpenAI, and we've had literal government shutdowns of AI models, right? So the attack surface is continuously expanding. The threats are continuously expanding, and the ways that we need to understand security compromise across availability, integrity, and confidentiality in AI services are one of the top concerns of most of our customers and most people that like to engage us. So I would say that a lot of when we think about AI and how we've evolved to match this demand, I want to take it a step back to something Eyal has mentioned quite a few times, that rabbit hole that we have. And I want to also mention that context is one of the most important things when it comes to the age of AI. Now, some of the things that differentiate us from most other vendors is we have built this over almost a decade of threat intelligence in human-gathered data, right? That means we've had real humans collecting real data, seeing real attacks, and then putting that into a single source of truth. Additionally, these humans do not just speak English, right? We have our agents across the world that are naturally taking these attacks and these different inputs, and they're in their own language, their native language, over 120 languages. And one of the most difficult things that we don't really think about when it comes to AI, it's very much trained to speak in English. And when it sees an attack that is in another language, it gets confused. And if you want to go deep into the technical research, right, as soon as you go into other languages and how they're input, right, Unicode changes exactly how a computer interprets a different language. So visually it becomes different. The payloads are totally different. And I can confidently say that the results that we have come from organic data, real data, and not synthetic data from companies that come out within the last year or 2 years, right? There's a lot of maturity that needs to exist in order to perform responsibly and provide security solutions that can really help an enterprise scale up. And that's one of the big things that people come to us for. You know, financial institutions will come here because they know that we provide a level of compliance readiness that they can trust in a production environment, right? Healthcare will come to us because they know that when it comes to the health of a person, the sensitivity of that data and the need to get it right, that you need accuracy. You need things that actually make sense. You can't just go willy-nilly and hope that synthetic data is going to be enough here. So we really are grounded in this mature foundation of understanding these types of attacks, the dangerous types of inputs and outputs that you can see, and how to really help you move forward and advance unafraid.
I would add also that the things that Mo just mentioned as language, it's not just a pure language, it's a culture. Meaning, if you don't know, one of the languages in the bad area of pedophiles is emoji. So it's not in English even not one emoji or two emoji. It's how it comes in the post or in the content. And I think that our advantage, you know what, is we are thinking like thieves, not like police guys. Having said that, we know how they're thinking, we know what they are doing, and all the time we are still gathering those elements, so we will be update every time.
Some really key things that you mentioned there. One, and I really want to reiterate when you talk about the fact that there's over a decade that you've been able to gather this intelligence, because ultimately as well, you see the evolution, but naturally like the kind of, I was going to say the bad guys. It sounds like we're in an action movie when I say it. But ultimately, they're really intelligent, right? They recognize that, okay, people are suddenly looking at all of this new modern way of working. Let me go back to the way that it used to work well and nobody looks for anymore. When you're building a platform off a decade of intelligence, you can obviously capture all of that. But also you can, and I imagine, see how it's evolving. I anticipate that probably helps influence how you can predict things in the future and recognize that, okay, we've seen things change this way. We can pretty strong hypothesis together of how things are going to continue to evolve. When it comes to looking towards the future, though, I imagine as exciting it is, it's probably also really daunting, especially as we're seeing a significant advancement with things like deep fakes and so on, and the way that we're able to get a lot more of these fake accounts, and the challenging thing being that how do you keep up with that kind of momentum when innovation, we're obviously restricted within the ethical parameters of, we can try and think like a bad guy, but we can't be the bad guy because, we absolutely can't. So how do you keep up with that level of innovation?
So there's a paradigm that we have in security where the defenders are usually the ones that have to keep up with the attackers, right? And in AI, it's actually become way worse. The attacks have become cheaper to pull off. The attacks have become more in volume, right? You can pull off a series of attacks for a lower cost. The only way you can really keep up with that is also augmenting your own intelligence. And like I said before, we have all of this data that we've gathered. So some of the patterns that we're able to recognize are going to help us predict some of that future stuff, right? Kind of give us a crystal ball. On the plus side, we also have an incredible group of researchers that are constantly breaking things. And you're right. There is an ethical guideline that needs to be followed. At the same time, the attackers that we have are not following the same rules, right? We think like thieves, not like police. In the same sense, you look at some of the research we've done recently, especially around obliterated models, so models where guardrails are stripped. The open weight model and the open source model world is not going to stop because things are a little scary, right? And we can't stop either. So we're going to do the testing we need to. We're going to do it as ethically as possible. And again, we're not going to go and violate anything, right? We have secure environments and we have the best people to ensure that we can push forward with testing in a way that makes our clients feel comfortable with what we're doing and how we're able to provide kind of the guidance across this chaotic environment.
I was about to say you did a very good job of covering it there, and again, I think something that it just plays into how critical businesses like Alice are, and ultimately I say businesses like, but there's not really anyone else that's at the forefront of the way that you guys are, and I think anybody that's tuning in will really be able to get the sense of how much enthusiasm, again, isn't the word I'm looking for, but how much passion is really put behind what you're building, and it's clearly gained throughout the entire team, and how much you're really putting into making sure that people are protected. So as we kind of close out the episode, I'm really interested to hear your thoughts. I referenced it earlier, but naturally things are evolving quickly. From your personal perspectives, you maybe have a bit of an insight as to what's still yet to come for Alice. Is there anything in particular that either of you are personally really excited about, something that you're going to be really proud to continue talking about as the next few months evolve in the way that we've just seen arguably the past 6 months do?
I think that the main thing that I want to mention is the DNA of Alice. It's very important. We are usually doing onboarding to new employees in the company. And I see it from the past till now that I'm, as the president and one of the first co-founders, the first co-founder, is asking for my employees, according to what you were mentioned, that each one of us has a mission. We are not a regular company that producing something, everything is good, but we are saving people. We are saving really the humanity. And I'm telling my new employees that when they are coming to the office in the morning, they should think and behave and act like they are saving the day, and they are saving the kids. And I speak in a very high level, but we are saving the environment to be a better place.
So just you're asking kind of like what's in like the future, what's in store. So we're doing a lot of like really interesting things. Like obviously on the product side, I think that we're going to have a lot of cool things to talk about. One of the things I've been excited about is our RL gyms and simulation. I think this is like one of the most interesting places where we haven't really seen a lot of like big growth there. And again, we're like one of the first to actually come out with something like this. And even in like the early like forms of this, we've seen so much good come out of it. And it's something that we talk about pretty openly, and we're like really excited to continue having more customers onboarded and see how it goes. Just being able to like kind of test all of your agents in an environment where it's like you don't care about a production going down, right? You don't have to worry about something happening bad in prod, but you can simulate tens of thousands of scenarios within hours, right? I think that's incredible. In policy generation, being able to kind of say, oh, well, there's this one thing that like, our legal team doesn't want, right? Just put it into our engine and then boom, you have a policy on it. Because you need to be able to enable people to grow fast and move fast. And that's one of the things that, we can't predict. We don't know where the field is going to go. We can only be prepared for it. And things like a policy that can be generated on the fly, things like simulating in environments that you don't necessarily understand yet, and really preparing for the unknown, I think that's where we're really like excited about and really excited to continue seeing our customers innovate and grow, because as they do, we can kind of start doing more interesting things as well. So I'm just excited for the field to grow. I've obviously been excited about how fast we're growing, and like Eyal said, it's super exciting to be part of a company that is doing so much good. So that's just unfortunately an understatement. I don't have better words to say. Yeah.
Honestly, and I can genuinely say from being around and spending time with the team here, it's so clear how proud people are to be making such a good difference. And I think ultimately, like I mentioned at the beginning, that's really the sentiment that so many companies can forget, and it is reiterated through your employees, through your branding, through kind of everything that you're doing. So guys, thank you so much for joining me. It has been a pleasure to have the conversation with you here. And for anybody that's been tuning in, make sure to get connected with the team at Alice, have a little look into what they're doing. I think especially if you get to the conferences, I highly recommend trying to get to their booths because they really are a special place. But that is it for this episode. Please continue to follow along for more conversations as we unpack the week. But that's it, so I'll see you all next time for more conversations that are shaping cyber.